Hello and welcome to Tech and More. So, as you know that we are discussing the TestNG and its annotations, and we have created two videos for this, and this is the second video. So if you are not sure and if you have not watched the first video, wherein we are talking about the TestNG, the definition, the concepts, the theory part of it, which is very important to know, I would suggest that you go ahead and have a look at that first, and then come and watch this particular segment wherein we are going to implement these annotations and see the execution order as well, right? So without wasting any more time, let's straight away jump to IntelliJ. And if you can see here on the code, I have not written the before and after as of now because I'm going to add that one by one and show you the executions. But before that, I have these two methods here because before and after is something which tells you the order of how these methods have to be run. So these are the methods which are going to run, and the order is decided by before and after, right? So if you can see here, there are two methods. The first method is test case method 2, and the second method is test case method 1. Why I did this in the opposite manner is something we'll see in a while. But before that, you treat one test case as a one method as a test case, right? So the first method is a test case, the second method is the second test case. So we are going to execute them, and with the help of before and after, we are going to decide the order of these test cases, right? And before going ahead and before executing these, I would like to tell you that I am going to paste all of this code in the description of the video. So do not worry about writing this down while you're watching the video. Feel free to paste it later on, right? So let's start. Before actually implementing the before and after, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to execute this first of all, right? So let's see how the results come up for this. So I have executed, and if you see on the screen here a bit closely, you will see that this is the way the statements have printed. So first one says print test method 1, which is the second method, and the other one says the test method 2, which is the first method. So as you can see on the screen, though this particular method, which is highlighted on the screen right now, this method is first in the order and this method is second in the order, right? But still, the one with the test case method 1 got printed first. The reason being that these test cases or these methods are always executed in an alphabetical manner, right? So that is why you place it at the top or you place it at the bottom, or if there are 5 test cases or 5 methods as well, then also the alphabetical order will be selected. So as you can see in the method name, it says test case method 1 and 2, right? So till test case method, it is same for both of them, right? But then when it comes to O and T, so O is first in the alphabetical order, so that is why it got printed first, right? Got it? Cool. Now, if you want to know more about before and after, what we would do is that I would first of all implement the before method, right? So here is the code for before method. Let me go ahead and let me paste it here. So as you can see on the screen right now, this is the before and after method annotations. And this means, and you have to remember this, before method or after method says that run this particular method. So whichever method, that is, as you can see on the screen right now highlighted, which is method before and method after, whichever method has these tag, that is before method and after method, this particular method will execute before every test, right? So when it says before method and after method, these two methods will run or execute before and after every test. That is, there are two tests. So basically, this method will execute before the first test, right? And then this one will execute. Then for the second test, again, the method which is tagged by the annotation of before method will execute, and then the after will execute. This might sound a bit confusing to you right now. So what I'll do is I'll execute this entire code for you, and you'll see it for yourself. So see, I have executed it, and if you can see on the screen right now, you will see that this particular order comes in a manner which I have explained, right? So let us go ahead and let us see. So it says print before method. So let me take you to the method which says print before method, this one, right? So it got printed at the very first, right? Then as I told you that it will go step by step. That is, before and after will be implemented for the first test, then before and after will be implemented for the second test. That is, it runs before and after every test, right? So in this case, it did execute before the first test, right? And then after method executed after the first test. So this is done, right? Now let's talk about the second test or the second method. So this is the second test, right? So in the second test, it says the before method should be executed before the second test, or rather before every test. So as you can see on the screen right now, the before method got again executed before the first test, and so did the after method after the second test. I know all these wordings uh, being said simultaneously will create a confusion for you. So do not worry. Watch this video again, and you will be able to make more sense out of it. Do you have any questions? Do post them. But yes, you watch this video again, you try it at your own level, and you'll understand that, right? This is about before method and after method. Now talking about before class, before test, and before suite. So I'll uh, copy this entire annotations at one, and I'll tell you how it works. So let me go ahead and let me paste it, right? So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and execute it. But before that, let me show you what it really means. So we have talked about before method annotation, after method annotation. Now we see before class, after class, and we see before test, before suit, right? So let me go ahead and let me execute it, and let us see what actually comes on the screen, and then only we'll be able to make more sense of these annotations, right? So I am seeing this on the screen, and if you see it a bit properly, and let me highlight it for you so it makes more sense. See, this is the test method one, and this is the test method two, right? So here as we know, for before method, this is bound to execute before every test. So it executed before test method one, and it executed before test method two. Same happened with after method. It executed after the first test, and it executed after the second test. See where my cursor is going on the screen, it will make more sense to you, right? And before suit, coming to the before suit, it says that before suit is basically a combination of tests, right? So there are two tests, so it has to, the before suit will run before the entire test, right, at the very start. So it did. If you can see on the screen right now, it ran as before suit. Then at the end, it ran as after suit, right? And in the case of before test, right, and in the case of after test, it says that run after the entire test, right? So it ran accordingly, and same is the case for class, right? So if you want to understand the order of executions for the TestNG annotations, it will be before suit will run first, then before test, then before class, and then before method. And same for after, in an opposite manner, right? So you have to understand it logically to remember it better. Suit is a combination of tests. So suit is at the extreme or at the top, right? So first suit will run, then tests are a combination of suits. So if the suit runs, then after that one test will run. Then a test can have multiple classes. So after that the class will run, and a class can have multiple methods, like in our case, right? So that will run. So first of all, the epitome or the superset runs, which is the suit, then the test, then the class, and then the method. This is the code. I understand it can be a bit overwhelming to understand these concepts or the order at one go. So I would suggest that you go ahead and watch this video again, and once you watch it, you will be able to better understand it. In case of any queries or any questions, please feel free to reach out via comments, and I would love to clarify these using more videos, or answering via comments. I hope that this was helpful, and do leave your feedbacks for improvements or suggestions. Thank you.